He had the highest grades in the entire school, but to them, he was just the boy who didn't belong. Every glance, every whisper, every silent judgment followed him through those hallways like a shadow he couldn't escape. They said he was only there because of luck, not talent. They were certain he would fail eventually. But when results day came, something happened that no one saw coming. Something that forced everyone to confront the truth they tried so hard to ignore. The question is, why were they so determined to see him fall in the first place? Arav had always believed that hard work could earn him a place anywhere. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise, reviewing notes while the rest of the city was still quiet. His world revolved around textbooks, late-night studying, and a quiet determination to prove something, not just to others, but to himself. The school he attended was known for excellence, a place where success stories were expected. But from the moment he stepped through its gates, it was clear he wasn't seen as part of that story. His uniform looked the same, his grades spoke louder than most, but none of that seemed to matter. Some looks lingered too long, conversations that stopped when he walked by, and a constant feeling that he was being measured by something he couldn't control. Teachers rarely called on him unless they had to. Classmates formed groups that never seemed to have space for one more. And when his test scores came back at the top of the class, the reaction wasn't admiration, it was disbelief. Still, Arav kept going. He told himself that results would speak for him eventually. That one day, none of the whispers would matter. But as the final exams approached, the tension around him only grew stronger. Like everyone was waiting, almost hoping for the moment he would finally prove them right. At first, it was subtle, easy to dismiss if he tried hard enough. A misplaced paper during a graded assignment. The days that followed felt different, but not in the way most people expected. Arav's name stayed at the top, printed in bold on every official record, impossible to deny or explain away. Teachers who once overlooked him now acknowledged him, but their recognition felt distant, almost mechanical. Classmates who had doubted him suddenly grew quiet, their confidence replaced with an uneasy awareness of what they had been part of. But for Arav, the victory didn't feel like an ending. It felt like clarity, because he knew something they were only beginning to understand. This was never just about grades. It was about how quickly people decided who was worthy and who wasn't. How easily doubt was placed on someone who looked different, came from a different background, or simply didn't fit the image people were comfortable with. He carried that realization with him long after the results were announced. It shaped the way he saw the world, the way he understood silence, and the way he recognized injustice, even when it wasn't obvious. What happened to him didn't leave visible scars. There were no headlines, no public outrage, no official apology, just a quiet shift in perception and a truth that lingered beneath the surface. Because for every Arav who proves them wrong, countless others never get the chance. Those who are overlooked, underestimated, or pushed aside before they can even show what they're capable of. And that's what makes this story heavier than a single moment of triumph. It forces a question that stays long after the story ends. How many people are judged before they're ever given a fair chance? And how many dreams are lost because of it? They said he didn't belong, that his success was just luck, but when the truth finally came out, it exposed something far deeper than anyone expected. Watch this powerful story unfold and see how one moment of truth challenged everything people believed. If this moved you, don't stay silent, like the video. A project partner was suddenly reassigned without explanation. Marks that didn't seem to match the effort he had put in. Small things, each one almost insignificant on its own, but together they began to form a pattern Arav couldn't ignore. He started double-checking everything. Every answer, every submission, every step. Yet somehow, the results always came back just slightly off, just enough to pull him down from where he rightfully stood. And each time, the same quiet reactions followed. Shrugs, avoidance, as if questioning it would only confirm what they already believed about him. The whispers grew louder as exams approached. Not loud enough to confront, but loud enough to hear. Words like overrated and lucky floated through the corridors when he passed by. Some said he must have had help. Others hinted he didn't deserve to be there at all. And then came the mock exams. This was the moment that was supposed to define everyone, the final test before the real one. Arif prepared harder than ever, pushing himself beyond exhaustion. Nights blurred into mornings, and the pressure weighed heavier with each passing day. He knew what was at stake, not just his future, but his right to be seen as equal. When the results were posted, a crowd gathered instantly. Students scanned the list, searching for their names. Arif stood at the edge, his heart pounding, waiting. Then he saw it. His name was there, but not where it should have been. For a moment, everything went silent. His chest tightened as he read it again, hoping he was mistaken. He wasn't. His score had dropped, far below what he knew he had written, far below what made any sense. The murmurs started almost immediately. This time, they weren't whispers. They were certain, almost satisfied. It was as if the entire room had been waiting for this exact moment. Arif felt something shift inside him. Not just confusion, but something deeper. A realization that this wasn't random. That this wasn't just pressure or bad luck. And yet, when he tried to question it, the response was cold, distant, dismissive. Like the answer had already been decided before he even asked. But what no one realized, what no one expected, was that Arif wasn't going to stay silent anymore. Because something about this didn't just feel wrong. It felt deliberate. The final exams came and went in a blur of silence and pressure. Arif wrote every paper with a steady hand. But inside, the weight of everything that had happened refused to leave him. This wasn't just about proving himself anymore. It was about confronting something far bigger than a single result. Results day arrived, and the entire school gathered, buzzing with anticipation. This time, Arif didn't stand at the edge. He walked forward, straight into the crowd, his eyes fixed on the board. The list went up. For a second, no one reacted. Then the room shifted. Heads turned. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. At the very top was his name. Not second, not third, first, by a margin so clear, so undeniable, that there was no room left for doubt. The same voices that once questioned him fell silent. The same faces that looked past him were now frozen, caught between disbelief and something they couldn't admit. But then something unexpected happened. Arif didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. Because in that moment, standing at the top, he realized something that hit harder than every whisper, every unfair mark, every moment of isolation. This victory didn't erase what had happened. It didn't change the way he had been treated when no one thought he would succeed. It didn't undo the doubt that had followed him every single day. The silence around him wasn't just shock, it was exposure. For the first time, the truth wasn't hidden in whispers anymore. It was right there, impossible to ignore. And the question that lingered in that heavy, uncomfortable silence was one no one could escape. If he had failed, would anyone have ever questioned why?